In this video, I'm going to show you literally how to book as many sales calls as you can handle consistently and predictably for your online coaching business today. My name is Jeremy. I help online coaches scale their businesses mainly with ads and building a team. So if that's you, if you're making kind of 5 to 20K a month already, mostly organic, and you actually want to tap into a scalable, consistent traffic channel and acquisition system, book in a call down below or check out the main video on my channel. Let's get straight into it. So the reason why I like ads so much is because it's extremely consistent and predictable. And here's what I mean. So let's say our goal, I don't know, let's just say our goal right now is to make like 20K a month. And I apologize for the mouse. It's a little laggy. 20K a month, right? So we sell a 5K thing. So that means we need to make 4 sales a month. 4 customers, and we've got 20K a month. Now, of course, this is going to be assuming paid in full, so you could always do like cash per call or something like that. But just to keep it simple, we're going to be doing this. And let's say you close 20%, right? I mean, you should be closing at least 30, but let's just be conservative and we'll say 20%. So 1 in every 4 calls, or sorry, 1 in every 5 calls. So that means in order to make 4 sales, you need 20 calls on the calendar for that month. Now, let's say like calls that show up. Let's say 1 in 5, or sorry, yeah, 1 in 5 no show. So we've got like an 80% show up rate. Hopefully you guys can see this. But anyways, so let's just say we need, I don't know, 25 calls booked. $25 calls booked. And right here, like I know for my business, just based on the ads I'm running, I'm getting booked calls for about $125. So therefore, in order to book 25 calls, I need to spend like, well, actually, before we get into that, 25 calls, let's say you're working 25 days of the month, right? Take off weekends, maybe work a Saturday, something like that. So 25 calls a month is like 1 call a day. Really, all you got to do is book 1 call a day. That's literally all you have to do to get to 20K a month. It seems really easy, but nonetheless, 1 call a day. And then in order to book a call, you need to know your cost per call, right? So right now, my cost is about $125. So if I want to book 1 call a day, then all I got to do is just spend $125 a day on ads. And there's a few metrics that go into that too, like your booking percentage and how good you are at appointment setting. I'll get into that in a minute, but this is the formula. Let's say next month I want to make $40,000 a month. Literally all I have to do is just spend $250 a day. $250 a day. That'll lead to 40K a month. Now, these are pretty like conservative numbers too. So let's bring up the good old calculator and we'll do some math here. So 200, let's just take our first example. $125 a day times 30 is $37.50. So we spend $37.50 and we make 20,000. So let's say 20,000 is how much we make, divided by 37.50. We're getting a 5.33 return on our ad spend, which is really good, right? So what we're gonna do is 5.3 ROAS. And this is literally gonna be the exact same, right? But let's say this month we really double down on sales. So we spend same amount, right? $125 a day. Let's just carry this down. 125 on ads. And we get really good sales and we increase our closing rate from 20%, 1 in 5, to now 30%, which is pretty common. Like once you've taken a bunch of sales calls, you should be closing 30%, right? So assuming everything else stays the same, we're booking 1 call a day. We got 25 that show up, or the 25 book. We get 20 that show up. Well, what's 30% of 20? So 20 calls times 0.3 equals 6. So now what we've done is we made 6 sales, which equals 6 times 5K, 30K. So we just added from here to here, we added another 10K a month to our business by just getting a little bit better at sales that month. All we did was change one variable, and now we increased our revenue by 50%. Let's say on top of this, we get better at booking calls, or we hire a really good appointment setter that Jeremy helped you find inside the program, because I've got a whole database of vetted and qualified appointment setters that you can literally just pick from anytime you want once you're in the program. But nonetheless, let's get into it. So let's say they're way better at setting appointments than you are, and they can spend way more time doing that. So let's say we still spend the exact same amount, $125 a day, but we book 2 calls a day now. Oh shit, here we go. 2 calls a day times 25 days that you work. Now you're booking 50 calls. And if, like, let's say 10 don't show up. So now you got 40 calls in the calendar, and let's take 30% now. Month 1, you got way better at sales. Now you got a setter in place. And now you're booking way more calls. And this will literally happen. Like when I hired my first setter, he booked 2 to 3 times more calls than I did by myself because I didn't have enough time. I was focused on building other stuff in the business, right? So 30% of 40, let's get our calculator back. And so 40 times 0.3 is 12. Oh boy. 12 sales times 5 equals 60K a month. 60K a month, spending $125 a day. So literally what we just did is we turned $3,750 into $60,000, which is insane, but very realistic, depending on your niche and your offer and your ads coach. But 60K divided by this means we're getting a 16x ROAS. That's supposed to say 16x ROAS. There we go. And one of my clients, well, a bunch of my clients are getting a very, very good ROAS. Like, for example, just today, Alberto, the next week we booked 7 calls, spent 120. So 120, let's get our calculator up once again. And we'll get this guy up too. But he booked, or he spent $120 on ads, and he booked 7 calls, meaning he's booking a call for $17, right? So booking a call for $17, why don't we just take those numbers, for example? Like, let's say he is booking a call. Well, yeah, I mean, like his offer is 2K. So we'll just do another example here. I want to do this live with you guys too, so that you can actually just kind of see like my thought process. I think it's pretty cool. And let me know if you guys want me to do more of these kind of videos too. These are helpful. Kind of just see like the thought process and stuff. But if it's costing him $17 to book a call, then like, it's like, okay, well, how many calls do we want per day? Let's say we want to book, or actually let's just go back and reverse engineer. Let's say he wants to do 100K a month, right? I think we all want to do that. 100K a month. He's got a 2K offer, which means he needs to make 50 sales. So he has to sign up 50 clients, right? For 2K. Okay. Let's say he closes, let's just be conservative. He's actually gotten way better at sales and he's closing pretty good. But let's just say it's 20% just for the sake of it. So that means he's closing 1 out of 5. So we need 5 times more calls that show up. So he needs to book 250 calls for the month. or he needs to get 250 calls to show up. Let's say 50 don't. So let's say like 300 calls need to be booked. This is calls that show up. This is calls booked. And then 300 calls. Well, how much is that going to cost us? 300 calls. Let's say you're working like, you're probably not working 30 days of the month. It would be simple for math because then we could just do 10 calls a day. But let's say you take a few days off, you're working 25 days. I don't know exactly what the number would be, and I don't feel like pulling up the calculator, but let's just say like 12 calls a day. We got to book 12 calls a day. And since we know he's booking calls for $17 a call, and actually his appointment setter messaged me. So I posted a screenshot of that on my Instagram. And then his appointment setter messaged me after and said, hey, we booked 2 more calls today. So we're actually getting them for $12 a call, something like that, or 13, or can't remember the number he said. So it's a little bit lower than that realistically, but let's just go with that. So $17. So then all we got to do is figure out our daily ad spend, and we go $17 per call, and we need to book 12 of them. So we got to spend $204 a day on ads. $204 a day. $200 a day times 30 days of the month. 6,120. So literally what Alberto's capable of doing right now. What was that? 6120, 50. Like it's insane. 6120 turning into $100,000 per month. Now, obviously, you got to have the infrastructure and the teams to withstand this. You got to have a program that is able to manage 50 new clients per month coming through, and like customer success manager, coach, stuff like that. You got to have the appointment setters to be able to do this, and 250 calls. You're gonna need at least probably 1 or 2 sales reps to handle that, right? If you're taking 12 calls a day, you'll probably want like 2 sales reps, and all that's covered inside my program. And if you want more info on that, like watch the main video on my channel or booking a call down below. If you're already doing like 5 to 20K a month, you actually want a predictable, proven system to scale, and you want to implement this into your business. I'll show you literally how to do this for yourself too. But nonetheless, like let's calculate the ROAS. So $100,000 divided by 6120 that we put in, and we're getting a 16. So Alberto literally, this is a live example too, guys. Like I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. You literally just saw. So he's getting a 16.3x ROAS. Oh, it's similar to the other one. Yeah. Wow. I literally didn't plan this one out. I just kind of hit record and went with it. Which is kind of literally the same as up here, but 16.3 return on ad spend. That's what Alberto's seeing right now. And honestly, I think that's kind of bad for him. I talked to him earlier today. He said he's getting like a 20x return on cash and then like a 40x or 30 on revenue. But cash is really all that matters because revenue doesn't pay the bills. Cash does. But yeah. So anyways, you can literally see like based on how much money you want to make with your business, this literally just tells you how much you need to spend. And imagine like Alberto hires an appointment setter. Well, he actually already has one. Sorry. Imagine if he hired like a sales rep. This 20% right here goes to 30%. He's increased by another 25 sales by 50%, right? 50% of 20% is 10%. So he's added 10% onto this, which is actually 50%. We're getting a little complicated here. But nonetheless, so 50% more sales means it goes from 50 to 75 sales. 75 times 5 is 150K a month just by getting better at sales, right? 75 sales times 5. Or sorry, not times 5. His offer's 2K. But 75 times 2 is 150K a month if he's closing 1 out of 3. There you go. So If you're actually serious and you're a coach that's already established, you're doing 5 to 20K a month, give or take, you want to build a consistent and predictable and reliable acquisition system, check out the main video on my channel where I break down literally the offer. Or if you already have, booking a call down below, shoot me a DM over on Instagram at Jeremy_Pogue. Let's install this and the whole funnel, the whole system into your business as well. That way we can start to get you out of the trenches step by step, one thing at a time, right? So we're going to start to automate a lot of stuff. We're going to start to delegate a lot of stuff and eliminate a lot of stuff. So that way we can actually just focus on what actually gets results and makes you a lot of money and gets your clients great results. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Great client success and a happy entrepreneur. And then you're going to be able to build a team, have people around you that you can help them put food on their tables. It's a really cool feeling as well. But nonetheless, if that's something you want to do and you actually want to scale it predictably and consistently, I've literally shown you here with a live client example that I honestly didn't really plan out. I just kind of winged it. But it works. So nonetheless, that's it for this video. If you thought it was helpful, let me know down below in the comments. Destroy the like button. Let me know if you like this style of video too, so I can make more of them similar to these. And if you're actually serious, you're ready to invest to actually scale your company, then booking a call down below. Let's get chatting. I'll see you there.